Levine, and today I am going to do a talk about calming the mania. This is from one of my earlier books. If being manic just meant that you had high energy levels and the drive to reach for and accomplish new goals, it would be a good thing, right? Who wouldn't like being excited and thrilled by life? But the mania linked to bipolar disorder is more than just your average, elevated thoughts or feelings. What's different for you is that you can actually feel superpower energy and drug-like euphoria. I liken mania to riding a roller coaster. Your heart races, your mind speeds, and your adrenaline pumps as you take the electrifying twists and turns. Fun, yes, but there are limits to the high-speed ups, downs, and hairpin curves of such a thrill ride. It's unhealthy to subject your body to sustain rocket forces again and again and again. It's equally unhealthy to subject yourself to the hyper highs of mania. If left unchecked, each episode can do great damage emotionally and even physically. It can cause you to pursue frightening choices that will not end well. Risky sex, excessive spending, picking fights with your boss, or beating up on your parents. Perhaps you recognize these scenarios as your own. Or maybe you're the person who gambles away your family's life savings or spends thousands on one indiscriminate shopping spree. Whatever your manifestations, if left untreated, they only worsen. They may also lead to dangerous, psychotic episodes or breaks with reality. That's when you lose track of the world around you. Although your thoughts, visions, and behaviors seem appropriate to you, they're completely inappropriate and even incoherent to everyone else. We often associate the characteristic signs of a psychotic break with another serious mental illness called schizophrenia. But bipolar 1 individuals are prone to similar hallucinations, hearing, seeing, and experiencing things that just aren't there. They also have beliefs about themselves that simply aren't true. You've heard of delusions of grandeur? They can be part of a bipolar psychotic break too. You're so out of touch with reality that you're parading around the neighborhood dressed in a white sheet because you think you're Jesus Christ. Or you simply feel paranoid, jealous, or persecuted. Whether such delusions occur during a manic or depressive cycle, they can send you into a very dark place. The most severe case of mania I've ever dealt with professionally involved Gabby, a young woman whose mother brought her to see me because of her destructive behavior. Gabby was smart, pretty, and creatively blessed. During normalcy, she loved pursuing many refined activities: painting, sculpting, dancing, and writing. Yet when her manic phase kicked in, she was out of control and living dangerously. Gabby went from sensitive to sexually promiscuous, picking up 2 or 3 men a night from a local bar for unprotected sex. If that weren't bad enough, during one of many destructive incidents, she caused quite a scene in her parents' backyard, stripping and painting a canvas with her naked body as her mother's friends looked on. The woman had no shame. Her mother tried to control the situation, but my soon-to-be client raged that the devil made her do it, as she smashed vases, kicked in doors, and threw everything out of the refrigerator. Panicked about what to do, her mother finally called me at the suggestion of a mutual friend. Once I heard the story, I told her that her daughter needed to be hospitalized immediately so that she could be stabilized. Gabby was in the throes of a manic episode that warranted aggressive management. To her mother's credit, she moved quickly to get Gabby admitted and start her recovery. As this young woman illustrated so graphically, unbridled, frenzied mania can hurt your life and the lives of others you touch. Unless you get off the ride or put on some brakes, you either spin out of control or free fall into depression. Neither is a stable place. Even though I saw Gabby during her psychiatric stay, she refused further help after being released. 2 years later, much to my surprise, she called for an appointment. The tastefully coiffed and immaculately dressed woman who walked in my office barely resembled the hippie-free spirit I had met previously. She was in control and eager to explain that the manic incident had caused her so much pain and embarrassment that she hadn't been comfortable talking about her actions with any man, including me. She had worked with a female therapist, but now is ready to continue with me as her life coach. I was delighted to have her as a new client. We focused on helping her handle her bipolar constructively while setting and achieving career goals. Gabby wanted to be a teacher, so we strategized the best way for her to realize her dreams. She went back to school, earned a master's degree, and is now in the classroom. As long as she stays committed to recovery, I'm confident that Gabby will perform very well. According to her mother, she's doing just that. Gabby is a good example of the positive things that can happen when people work on their problems. She forgave herself for the issues brought on by her bipolar disorder and started treatment. She's living a happier, safer, and more fulfilled life because of her healthy decisions. Although manic episodes can be the most challenging aspects of bipolar disorder, the techniques to control them can be very successful. By combining several strategies, traditional therapy, medication, and support, along with creative endeavors and other training, you can mediate your unnatural highs and keep yourself centered. That requires being under the supervisory care of a physician or therapist so that you have someone to turn to immediately if you feel yourself going into a manic or even depressive phase. Of course, the goal is to remain episode-free, but if you feel that you're slipping into an all too familiar and unwelcome phase, it's much easier to contain the damage if you manage what's happening at an earlier juncture rather than wait until you're out of control. Many bipolar individuals say that they can definitely notice their moods and energy levels changing as they move into hypomania, that period when the mind starts shifting quickly before it kicks into high gear. The longer people are conscious of their illness, the more attuned they get to those signals. Like me, many patients pay special attention at specific times of the year since our symptoms may seem linked to changing seasons. I know that during spring, I have to make sure I slow down, sleep enough, and watch my spending. I tend to be more energetic during March, April, and May, so I try to limit the potential for a manic episode. No matter what triggers an episode, your goal will be to slow the process or prevent it from occurring in the first place. Many of the tools below are beneficial whether you're in mania or depression or in between. They're critical for well-being. Medications. Being properly medicated is your best ally in fighting bipolar, particularly a manic cycle. If you're not already on mood stabilizers, you need to be evaluated and likely placed on a regimen. People often complain that drugs used to control their racing thoughts and behaviors make them feel dull or flat. I understand the fear of losing your edge because you're on medication. Some bipolar treatments can leave you so sleepy that it's hard to find energy. But I've yet to meet a medical doctor who wants to destroy someone's drive or extinguish someone's inner fire. As a therapist, I certainly didn't want to do that either. I've had a very simple goal for my own bipolar clients: eliminate the parts of the disorder that cause pain and strife and keep the light burning bright. That means working with a physician to find just the right drug combination and dosage. If what you're taking doesn't seem to work, you will likely require an adjustment either with the drug itself or the prescribed amount. Remember, you're not supposed to be a medicated robot who is unable to enjoy fun, experience excitement, or liberate your inner spirit. If you've met me, you'd see that I'm passionate about life, even though I take prescriptions several times a day. They haven't dimmed my light. I love the fact that I can meet people and make them laugh. I'm excited that I have the capacity to appreciate everything around me. Like me, when you're in control, you're freed up to enjoy the world.